Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are running a masterclass.
That's a good way to put it.
A masterclass in seeing through the absolute fluff of the real estate industry. We're zeroing in on a very specific, very high stakes market, the Unionville-Chadds Ford School District.
Is a fascinating case study because on the surface you just drive through and it looks like any other affluent suburb.
Right. Big houses, nice trees.
Exactly. But when you start to peel back the layers, you realize this district is, it's a minefield of complexity.
And expensive mines, too. The median home price here, as of early 2026, is $750,000.
Yeah.
So if you make a mistake, it's not pocket change. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars in equity, maybe more.
Or you get stuck with a lemon you just can't unload.
Yeah.
And what's baffling, to me at least, is that people still pick their agents using these broken methods.
I was looking at our research, and it points to the two big ones, a friend's recommendation or just a Google search.
And both are useless here. Worse than useless, they're dangerous.
Explain that. Why is a friend's recommendation dangerous?
Because a friend's recommendation almost always measures friendliness. You know, oh, she was so nice, she brought us cupcakes at closing.
Yeah.
That doesn't tell you if she understands the tax implications of a property that straddles two different counties. And Google. That just tells you who has the biggest ad budget. It's marketing spend, not competence.
So that's our mission today. We're going to arm you, the listener, with specific lie detector questions.
Actual data points.
Yes, so you can tell the difference between a real local expert and what our data calls a tourist agent.
I love that term. Someone who's a rock star in Philly but has no clue what they're doing at Chadds Ford. We need to get past likability and into competence.
Okay, let's do it. Lie detector number 1. This is about geography and volume.
Yes. The metric is transaction volume by school district.
Uh-huh.
This is your first hurdle.
So what's the question?
You have to ask the candidate, point blank, how many transactions have you closed specifically within Unionville-Chadds Ford in the last 24 months?
And the data says the magic number is 5. Now, I have to push back on that a little. 5 transactions in 2 years. That sounds really low.
It's a fair question, but you have to understand the context. This isn't a high-volume condo market in the city.
It's a niche luxury market.
Exactly. Low turnover. So 5 deals here means they are consistently active in this specific district. It's high enough to filter out the dabblers. Anything less, and they're learning on your dime.
Okay, so 5 is the floor. But here's the trap the notes mention. You ask the question, and the agent says something like, oh, I've sold hundreds of homes in Chester County.
Right, or I'm a top producer in Greater Philadelphia. It sounds impressive, and it's meant to.
But it's irrelevant.
Totally irrelevant, because Unionville-Chadds Ford is a geographical anomaly. It spans 2 counties, Chester and Delaware.
And that's not just a line on a map.
No, it has huge financial consequences. Different tax rates, different assessment methods, different county services.
So what's the tangible impact? Break that down for us.
It's wallet shock. You could have 2 identical houses right across the street from each other. One's in Chadds Ford, Delaware County. The other's in Pennsbury, Chester County. The property tax bill could swing by thousands of dollars a year.
Wow.
So if your agent just sends you listings without calculating that monthly tax burden for that specific county, your mortgage payment could be $400 or $500 higher than you budgeted.
That's a car payment just gone.
Exactly. And it gets even more granular. We're not just talking 2 counties.
It's 7 distinct townships.
7: Birmingham, Chadds Ford, East Marlborough, Newlin, Pennsbury, Pocopson, and West Marlborough. Each one with its own personality, its own zoning laws.
So here's the pop quiz for you, the listener. You're sitting across from an agent. Just ask them, hey, can you name 5 of the 7 townships in the district?
It sounds so simple, but you'd be shocked how many fail this test.
Yeah.
If they stammer or if they think the whole district is just Chadds Ford, they're a tourist. End of interview.
I love that. Tourist agent. Okay, let's move to the second lie detector. This one's for the math nerds, but it's crucial. The list-to-sale ratio.
Yes, a vital metric for setting expectations. And as of February 2026, that ratio in UCF is 97.4%.
So let's decode that. Homes are selling on average for about 2.6% below the asking price.
Right. On a $750,000 house, that's about $19,500.
So so what here? What does that number tell us about the psychology of the market?
It's a sanity check. It tells us that sellers are overestimating their leverage. They're still pricing their homes like it's the boom of 2024, but the buyers are living in the reality of 2026.
So if you're a buyer and an agent tells you to offer full ask on day one to win the deal.
They're giving you bad advice. They're operating on muscle memory from 2 years ago. They're leaving your money on the table.
But you can't just lowball either.
No, it's a tight window. They're not desperate. But this connects to a scam that, it's just so infuriating. The buying the listing strategy.
This is where agents intentionally inflate a price estimate just to get the seller to sign with them.
It's the oldest trick in the book. And it's lethal here. Let's say you interview 3 agents. 2 of them look at that 97.4% ratio and say your home is worth, say, $725,000.
They're being honest.
They're being honest.
Yeah.
Then the 3rd agent walks in and says, you know what? I can get you $810,000.
And human nature kicks in. Of course you want to go with the person promising you more money.
You're flattered. You think, wow, this agent really sees the value, so you sign. But they know that number is a fantasy. They just wanted their sign in your yard.
And then the house just
Sits. The average days on market right now is already 114 days. That's almost 4 months.
Wow.
If you start overpriced, you sit even longer. The listing gets stale. Buyers see it's been on for 150 days and assume something is wrong with it.
And the data backs this up. I saw a stat that 41% of active listings in UCF right now have had to reduce their prices.
That's a staggering number. Nearly half the market is admitting they got the price wrong at the start. So if an agent tries to defy gravity in a market like that, you run.
Now, that 114 days on market, it's not happening in a vacuum. A big part of it is that buyers just don't understand the patchwork personality of the district.
It really is a patchwork. And this is where a true expert agent needs to connect geography to your lifestyle, because these townships are not interchangeable.
Okay, give us the tour.
Well, take Pennsbury Township. If you're used to normal subdivisions with sidewalks and curbs, this feels like a different planet. You turn off Route 1 and suddenly the curbs are gone.
And you're looking at
Land trusts, 18th century farmhouses, conservation easements. You're not just buying a house, you're buying into a preservation society. An agent who doesn't know the zoning setbacks there could cost you a fortune if you want to put in a pool.
Compare that to Chadds Ford Township.
Chadds Ford has what we call a name premium. It's the historic heart of the Brandywine Valley, the Wyeth history, the museum.
So the address itself has value.
A higher price per square foot just because of the address. It's a brand.
And then there's West Marlborough, which the notes call the Wild West.
In a way, yeah. It's the furthest out. You get the biggest lots, lowest price per square foot, but you pay for it with your time.
The commute.
Longest commute to everything. Grocery stores, highways. You're buying privacy, but you're also buying isolation. Running out of milk is a major event.
And Birmingham.
History. The Battle of Brandywine. So strict zoning, strict preservation. You can't just repaint your house whatever color you want. You are a steward of history.
It's amazing how different they all are.
And if an agent treats them as interchangeable, they're wasting your time.
Let's talk about the entry-level struggle. That $750,000 median price sounds brutal for first-time buyers.
It's incredibly difficult.
Right.
The inventory for, and I use this term loosely, affordable housing is almost non-existent.
So what are the options?
If you ask an agent, where can I find a townhome, and they can't immediately name Spring Hill Farms and Painter's Crossing, they don't know the market.
That's it. Those two.
Pretty much the only 2 main options.
That is a very specific knowledge check. Here's another one that blew my mind. Infrastructure. We're talking about plumbing.
This is a huge liability trap.
Yeah.
In most suburbs, you turn on the tap, water comes out.
Simple.
Not here. In huge chunks of UCF, Newlin, Pennsbury, West Marlborough, you're on private utilities, well water and septic systems.
And if your agent is a city mouse,
They won't know how to protect you. A septic replacement isn't like a dishwasher. It could be a $30,000 or $40,000 job.
oh my God.
If your agent doesn't write contingencies for a septic inspection, a perk test, well water testing, you could be buying a house that comes with a $40,000 debt buried in the backyard.
That is terrifying. It's not just about price. It's systemic failure.
Correct. An agent who doesn't know the difference between public sewer and a sand mound system is dangerous in this district.
This also connects to the daily grind. Let's talk about the commute, but not for the parents, for the kids.
The school bus commute test. It's fascinating. There are only 2 elementary schools serving all 7 of these townships across 2 counties.
2? Wow. So a kid's bus ride could be
5 minutes, or it could be 45 minutes, each way. A good agent can tell you if you buy this house, your kid is practically living on the bus. That's a huge lifestyle factor.
And for the adults, there's that tax secret.
The Delaware border?
Yeah.
If you're in the southern part of the district, you're minutes from the Christiana Mall.
0% sales tax shopping.
It's a real lifestyle perk that local agents know how to sell. You live in PA, but you shop tax-free in Delaware.
I want to touch on something else. Professional designations. Those letters after an agent's name, I usually assume they're just fluff.
Laughs. Most of them are. It's just alphabet soup. But in this specific market, there are 3 that actually matter.
Okay, which ones?
First is SRES, Seniors Real Estate Specialist.
Why is that important here?
Because you have a lot of long-term owners. People downsizing after 30, 40 years. It's a different kind of sale. It involves capital gains, estate planning. You need someone trained for that emotional and financial weight.
Okay, that makes sense.
What's number 2?
RCS-D. That's a divorce specialist.
Unpleasant, but I see the need.
Look, when the main asset is a $750,000 house, it's often the most contentious part of a split. You don't want a cheerleader. You want a diplomat who can work with attorneys as a neutral party.
And the third one.
CLHMS, Certified Luxury Home Marketing Specialist. This is for the million-dollar-plus estates and horse farms.
They need a different kind of marketing.
Completely. Drone photography, marketing to out-of-state buyers, selling the equestrian lifestyle. You can't just put a sign in the yard.
So don't just see the letters. Ask them how that designation applies to your specific situation.
Exactly. If they can't answer that, it's just decoration.
Okay, here's the part I love. It feels like a total cheat code. The cyborg strategy.
It sounds sci-fi, but it's so practical. The idea is you use AI to audit your agent. You have tools like ChatGPT, Claude, so you actually record the agent's claims during your interview.
Right. Don't just nod. Take notes. Write down their specific claims. Prices are going up 10% next month. This market is moving in 30 days, whatever they tell you. Then you go home and you feed those claims directly into an AI. You use a very specific prompt. Verify these claims against current MLS and public record data for Unionville-Chadds Ford School District.
That's brilliant. It's a real-time fact check.
It's not about replacing your judgment. An AI can't tell you if a house has a bad vibe, but it can catch exaggerations. It's a BS detector.
It catches the difference between optimism and delusion.
And in a transaction this big, you cannot afford delusion.
So let's tie this all together for the listener. What does this all mean?
It means you have to be an active participant. You can't just hire your friend from the country club. You need a technical consultant, not a social peer.
So let's recap the lie detectors. First, volume.
5 transactions
Yeah.
in the district.
Oh,
The last 24 months. No substitutes.
Second, the numbers.
Know that 97.4% ratio. If they don't know it, they're not watching the market. And watch out for anyone who promises you the moon on price.
Third, geography.
Can they name the townships? More importantly, can they explain the difference between a septic tank in Newlin and a sewer line in Chadds Ford?
And finally, patience.
Yes. There are only about 39 listings active right now. The average time on market is 114 days. This is not a fast food market. Price it right or wait for the right house.
It really is a masterclass in due diligence. You aren't hiring a salesperson here.
No, you are hiring a guide for a very expensive, very rocky terrain.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a thought. We talked about risk, about equity, but think about that specific utilities example.
It's the ultimate litmus test.
And one final thing to chew on. In a market this complex, the agent who tells you no, the one who tells you not to buy a house because of the septic system or the bus route, is infinitely more valuable than the one who always says yes. But the question is, are you brave enough to hire the person who will tell you what you don't want to hear? Because if your agent thinks Unionville-Chadds Ford is just one big neighborhood and doesn't know the difference between a septic tank in Newlin and a sewer line in Chadds Ford, precisely how much of your equity are they about to flush away?
That's the question.
Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. We'll catch you on the next one.